Okay, have you ever stopped and asked yourself, why do you find something as beautiful? Not just, I like this or this looks good, but really, genuinely, what is happening inside of you when something grabs your attention and you call it beautiful? How do you judge something as aesthetically pleasing, and how can we say something as beautiful? And do we really understand what that means? We can say that sunset is beautiful, a sunrise is also a beauty, but do we really understand what that means? What are we really claiming when we say that? Kant tried to answer all of these questions in the 1719 in his book The Critique of Judgment. He said there are some criteria to be judged something as beautiful. And does the sunset from my course can actually qualify? Let's try to check some boxes. First, disinterestedness. The judgment of beauty is disinterested. This means you must appreciate the object purely how it appears, not for what it does for you. The sunset behind me does not doing anything for me, and yet I still find it beautiful. So box number 1, check. The second one is universal without a concept. That is quite confusing statement, isn't it? You expect agreement, but you cannot prove it. Because if we try to point out that certain trait is objectively beautiful, then it is no longer disinterested. I think I also expect everyone to agree that the sunset is beautiful. So box number 2, check. Number 3, purposive without a purpose. It looks as though the object was made for our faculties, yet no actual purpose is needed. Yes, the sunset served me some sense of personal pleasure without adding anything in my life. Just like the number 1, it does not doing anything for me. So box number 3, check. The fourth one is necessary. It feels like everyone ought to find it beautiful. I also agree with this. Sunset is indeed beautiful. So all of the box can be checked. Then the conclusion, according to Kant, the sunset can be judged as beauty. But Kant also describes something called the judgment of the sublime. What is the judgment of the sublime? What does that even mean? I feel something that far greater than me. It is a montain scenery that makes human body feel so small. That make me remember that I am ultimately just a tiny dust on the universe. But human is very narcissistic creature. When I see this, I also feel that my mind and humanity is something deeper than just physical form that this montain can achieve. And that is the sublime.
No one can arrest our thoughts. We will create a civilization of the mind in cyberspace. May it be more humane and fair than the world your governments have made before.
Enough of nature. We are modern men. Of course, our daily life is no longer about taking part in the nature like 1790 Immanuel Kant did. But rather, we spend our daily life on the internet. The thing in front of me is a personal website. When internet first became the mainstream, there is no big tech company that want to steal our data. And people mostly are browse the internet to a personal website. A website that created by people for the people to connect. I feel like this is fine art. It is intentional, but also appears free like the nature. When internet is now become such a money-hungry place, this quiet little corner of the internet feels like something that free from us. And also natural because this is how the internet has started. and people are starting to revive it again. So I feel a genuine sense of beauty from this place. Even though I didn't make any of this website and I didn't even born in the early internet era, but I still can appreciate what it is hold. And maybe that is the point that Kant has been making. Beauty is not and never about ownership of something. It is about being there first and then having personal stake in certain existence. It is about that moment of disinterested, unprovable and universal feeling. The moment that something that make you forget just briefly that you wanted anything at all. Whether it is a sunset, a sunrise, or maybe just a little website on the internet, none of them owe me anything and none of them were specifically made for me. And yet, here I am, finding them all beautiful. I think Kant would say that this is something that deeply and ultimately a human thing.